sit and sing together.
Welcome back to What's the Story, where I'm going to be taking one of my songs every single episode, and I'm going to be delving into the inspiration behind them. This episode was selected by Anne Rayner, thank you very much Anne, and she requested the Skylark and the Oak. Skylark and the Oak is a song I wrote when I was a student, and I wrote it because I wanted someone else to sing with. And Frances Sladen, who was also on my course, she was also a singer, I thought this is the perfect opportunity, so I'll write a song for the pair of us to sing. And it's kind of a love song, although I did protest at the time it wasn't a love song. However, we did end up getting married some years later, so as a love song I suppose it was quite effective. If you've heard Skylark and the Oak, then you'll know it is a narrative song. There is a story that runs through it which is about a bird and a tree, funnily enough, a skylark and an oak. And that idea came from this, or specifically The Happy Prince, which is one of Oscar Wilde's beautiful, beautiful fairy tales. I absolutely love these stories. The specific character who I sort of pinched this idea from was the swallow in The Happy Prince. At the beginning there's this long drawn out introduction where the swallow is in love with this reed in Egypt, and throughout the whole story then he's going on about how he needs to get back to Egypt to see that reed. And I thought that was a really interesting idea of having a bird that is in love with a plant. I just thought, what an interesting concept. There's this incompatibility there. Their relationship is kind of doomed. They're not really compatible in that sense. One is a bird, one is a plant. However, there's something still so romantic about the fact that to the end, that swallow will not stop thinking about that reed. But it was the idea of a bird being in love with a tree or a plant that I lifted from this story. In Skylark and the Oak, then there is a storm, and the skylark is flying through this storm, and it shelters in the branches of an oak tree. After that storm passes, then they strike up this brilliant friendship until the skylark starts to realise it can't stay with the oak forever. It has this yearning to fly off with its own kind, to migrate, to find another skylark, to have a family, settle down, you know, the usual skylark life plan. And so it bids a fond farewell to this oak tree and flies off south. I did have to research birds at this point. The only reason it's a skylark is because I was googling birds that migrate, and it fitted the song really well in terms of where I wanted it to go, for how long, and apparently they have nice voices as well, so that fits perfectly. After it's flown off down south, it's found another skylark, it's had lots of skylark babies, it's getting towards the end of its natural life, and it starts remembering the oak, and it's thinking, oh, I've left this friend who's waiting for me. So even though it's not supposed to go back up north, then it flies up to see this oak tree, and they're reunited at long last at the end. The reason I've protested that this is not a love song is because it's not really about romantic love in the traditional sense. It is a song about the love of friendship. So after we'd been singing it for a while, then I figured I wanted to record it. I was absolutely desperate to record something at that time, and in 2013 I recorded this little EP or mini album called Londonere, and it's on this. The CDs are long gone, and we used to sell it in pubs. To be honest, I was not particularly happy with the way this turned out, so I re-recorded it, or we recorded it I should say, with Ed Simpson in Poppleton, and it's a much better version, and that is the version that is on YouTube with the music video, and we're going to go into the music video shortly as there's lots of questions about that. And then more recently then I recorded a piano version on this album on Satellites, which is just instrumental piano versions of previous songs I've released, and I really like it as an instrumental as well. So it seems a bit ridiculous to talk about Skylark and the Oak without the Skylark. So welcome, here is Skylark, or Frances Sladen as she's actually called.
Thank you for having me in my own house.
That's alright, anytime. Any thoughts, common reflections on Skylark and the Oak? Love it, hate it, or just nonplussed?
It's been with us for a very long time.
It has indeed.
When I used to sing it, I quite liked the idea of the fact that the skylark was going south, or from the south, which is of course where I'm from.
And I'm kind of from up north, in a way.
The difference was that Josh sings enchanted, and I always sang enchanted. Slowly over 10 years of singing it, I've started to sing enchanted.
There's something deep in that.
Something.
Somewhere. Yeah, very meaningful.
Exactly.
We've got lots of questions that you guys have asked, so we're going to do our very best to answer those questions as best as we can. What's the first question? Who's it from?
This is from Queen Digger.
Thank you, Queen Digger.
Is this an original story, or was the inspiration from folk history. Also, how much fun was that to film? Because it looks amazing. Love the knocking at the beginning and end. It reminds me of the 3 knocks before spell work.
Oh, well, people always have much deeper interpretations than I have when I think of the songs. Firstly, is it original? It is original, but like I've said, I tried to make it in the style of an Oscar Wilde fairy tale. By the way, I didn't know. I didn't know it was based on... Until I heard Josh doing this recording, yeah. I didn't know. The other bit was about how much fun was it to film. What do you think?
I can tell you how cold it was.
It was pretty cold.
It was April and it was beautiful and sunny, but it was on the North York Moors. I was wearing sleeves that ended here and basically a nightie. It was cold, but it was amazing. And having a drone, Alex had a drone, didn't he?
Yeah, that's great. That's Alex Whiteley, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, from Pinecone Productions, who did an amazing job filming that with us near Gisborough, around the Gisborough area.
It was amazing. Yeah. And it was 2 days and we were just on the North York Moors the whole time, looking for an epic tree for 2 days, finally finding the right one.
And we were losing the light as well.
Yes,
we were driving around and the sun was going down and we thought, we've got to the point where the light is perfect for this twilight scene, but if we leave it much longer, we won't have a chance to film it. We've run out of time, and then we're just driving around frantically, and I just went, there! That's the tree! Climb over that wall! So the knocking sound, that is a reed organ. So these lovely old organs that they used to have in churches, and they used to have to be wound up, and it's all the mechanism inside them.
Brian Barker asks, who gave you the black eyes? Do you need to talk about it?
Well, we are talking about it. Who gave me black eyes? I gave myself the black eyes. The black powder in the music video was supposed to represent opening up that magical divide. There's these 2 worlds going side by side, and there's a black mark that you leave on the wall.
I draw it on the wall, and it's in the tin.
That's the dust that I'm putting in my eyes. That's meant to represent the dust that opens the connection between the worlds. I pinched that idea from The Magician's Nephew, because there's the magic dust that he makes the rings out of to connect the worlds. So I pinched that idea. I gave myself the black eyes, and it's not actually dust. It is
face paint.
Snazaroo face paint.
Snazaroo face paint.
Bought off eBay for $1.99.
Shout out to Snazaroo.
Maybe they'll be a sponsor of a future video, who can say? Brought to you by Snazaroo.
I do remember that we did it several times. You got it perfectly in the first take. I think that's the one that was used.
No, I giggled. I did it perfectly, and Alex was there like walking backwards. He was like, yes, very good, very good. I was like, yes. And then I just started laughing, and he was like, why did you laugh? That was the perfect take. Now you've got to take it all off. And I was scrubbing my face to get it all off. We did it again. It wasn't as good. Did it about 5 times until we got the take that you see in the video.
Oh, I always thought it was the first take.
No, I giggled.
This one's from Antoine. Hi, Joshua and Francis. It's a real duo. I mean, not a backing voice from Joshua to Francis or the other way. It's quite nice, actually, because...
It is one of the only songs where Francis...
I think that and Run With Me.
Yeah,
probably
take
where you've
kind of a lead part, which is nice.
Who has got the idea first? Sketches of it, the melody, words or themes, who comes up with it? I don't come up with anything. I just sing when I
you helped come up with the ideas for the music videos, which, as I sort of ranted at you as we walked around Gisborough, you sort of helped me change my ideas from just a load of gobbledygook into some sense of coherence.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but I did do a year of film studies at university.
She's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, from David Swan. David Swan's been doing some tip-top advertising for the live stream gig.
Absolutely.
Questions for Skylark, mainly about the video. That's fine. I was there. I can answer them. Are there any outtakes from the video? If there are, can we see them? Who came up for the idea of the scarves and mirrors symbolism? Nice touch with Fee's reflection, by the way, at the end.
The scarves came from a school trip I went on in year 6. I was in Scotland, so P6 or P7, can't remember. It was this outdoor centre. They took us on this walk. We went up into the forests of the Highlands somewhere, and there was this fairy tree, and when you got to the fairy tree, then there were things hanging from it. So people had ventured up there, tied stuff to this tree, and I think they were supposed to be wishes or communicating with dead loved ones or wishes for the future or lots of various reasons. And I remember thinking, this is magic. They've taken us to an actual magic fairy grove, being a child who read The Hobbit quite a lot. And I loved it. And I think I just wanted to pinch that idea. I think they do those kind of trees all over the world.
I was thinking that sounds like the Tibetan prayer flag type
Probably
thing. Probably not to do with fairies. And people now do it in York with yarn bombing.
Yes, they wrap trees in wool. I don't know why. The police haven't managed to stop them yet.
Also,
they will.
Can I just say the reflection at the end? That was funny because I had to be in it and then I had to duck down.
Yes.
And then it had to be you in it. Was the filming an enjoyable process and something you would like to do more of? Finally, would you ever be tempted to act in a film if offered?
Yes.
It was definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex was a great guy to work with. We sort of crafted this world, and when you're filming, then you're kind of in that world because you're in costume, you're in the setting. I've just got these really nostalgic, magical memories.
And it was like a sandpit because we'd not done anything probably like that before. And I think for Alex, he'd done different types of filming before.
Yeah, he had offered to do a music video, and I think he'd thought we'd be sitting around a campfire miming with an acoustic guitar, and I was like, nope, right, I've got a storyboard, we're going to be running over here, there's going to be a magical tree, there's going to be a mirror, there's going to be magic makeup, and he's like, oh my goodness gracious me, better get my walking boots on. And the drone, that was great fun.
Oh yeah.
You're getting a drone flying overhead.
I walked along an old viaduct, and it's all silent, and then suddenly the drone just comes up, and then over my head and disappears outside.
It's an epic shot, and that one as you're walking along the moors and it just pans round and
Yeah.
you see the sun behind you. It's just,
Oh,
it's amazing.
you didn't get any drone shots.
No, I wasn't good enough.
Anne Rayner says, Joshua Burnell, Skylark and the Oak, discuss. So I wrote an essay. Hope you can pick out my queries. So she's firstly asking about the significance of the plastic bottles and then the lantern flame.
So I envisaged this character to be living in a post-apocalyptic world, and he's created this little den for himself in the forest, and that's where he lives, using salvaged objects, and the lantern, which I believe we have here. The lamp was given to me by a friend called Rab Ferguson, and he's an author, and he went to Morocco and he brought this back for me as a gift. Thank you very much again, Rab. And he always used these when he did storytelling sessions, and he said it was like a story lamp. I'm not sure if that comes from a specific culture. The idea is before you tell a story, you light the lamp, and that brings the story to life.
So then she's just asking about the fact that there's the not quite meeting and then the significance of the scarves and the ribbons on the tree.
It all centres around the tree, so the tree is a meeting place between these two worlds. There's two parallel universes. Like in the song, there is the Skylark and the Oak, who are different species and in different places and are trying to get together. In the story of the music video, there are two characters in two parallel worlds trying to meet, and the tree is that meeting place. And they can't see each other, but when they tie a ribbon to the tree or a scarf to the tree, that does pass through into the other world. Hence why when he gets to the tree, the white ribbons are there, representing the white you were wearing, showing that she'd been there. And when she gets to the tree, she ties on the scarf, and that scarf passes through into his world. He is then able to tie the mirror onto that scarf, and then it is in both worlds, and when each of them looks in the mirror, they can see each other and communicate. So that's the idea. After searching, they're able to finally see each other again. I hope that came across. It might be quite cryptic.
So this part's really nice. Anne and a friend were having an email exchange about the theme of the song.
I'm honoured, thanks guys.
Next she's asking if the Skylark and the Oak are allegorical.
Like I said in the Puppet Man video, I like to keep songs open, so if people have interpreted it that way, that's just as valid as my interpretation of it. For me, it is an allegory for friendship, the love of friendship.
And then finally, I think this is an NB about the nature side of it all, keeping us in check.
What have I done wrong?
Are we aware that the tree at the end is not an oak?
Yes, we couldn't find an oak. It looked good.
It just looked really good, yeah. She does also say that the tree does the job superbly.
Thank you very much, Anne. I agree. It did. We found a very good tree.
Also, is it a generic location? Is it meant to be England that the music video is set?
No, it's meant to be an other world. It can be anywhere. Thank you very much for your questions. I know that someone else has requested Look at Us Now, so Look at Us Now is going to be the next song featured in Watch the Story. But if you have any other requests, please put them in the comments and I will do them sooner rather than later. So if you have a song you would like me to talk about, please put it in the comments and I'll do a video on it. In the meantime, thank you very much.
And now we sit and sing together tonight, as we did those two winters past. And now we'll listen to the river tonight, together once more.